She stood at the back of the supply line. Silent, small, and shaking. Nobody looked at her. Not the other aliens. Not the guards. Not even the droid scanning the crowd. Ziri wasn't just poor. She was invisible. Her skin was light lavender, almost glowing. Her eyes were wide, silver, and always watching. Her arms were too thin, her legs weak, and her voice barely above a whisper. She had no parents. No home. No name on record. In her species, females were supposed to be strong, tall, and commanding. Ziri was none of that. To them, she was not even worth calling female. She was a failure, an embarrassment. Something to throw away. So they did. For the last 2 years, Ziri had survived on leftover scraps, cold blankets, and hiding from soldiers who would trade her for money. She was used to hunger. She was used to pain. But today felt different. Something was coming. She could feel it. The crowd was moving slower today. Loud boots echoed down the corridor. Human soldiers were passing through. Some were laughing, some serious, but one stopped. His name was Cole, and he looked directly at her. Ziri froze. No one had ever looked at her like that. He wasn't staring with anger, or disgust, or hunger. He was curious. He walked closer. Ziri stepped back, clutching her worn blanket. Her heart raced. Her thin body shook. She thought, he's going to hurt me. Just like the others, but he didn't. Instead, Cole crouched down. You all right? He asked softly. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Her voice was locked behind years of fear. Cole looked around, then slowly pulled a protein bar from his pocket and held it out. Ziri blinked. Food? For her. She stared at it. Then at him. Take it, he said, his voice calm. You look like you haven't eaten in days. Still, she didn't move. So he gently placed the bar on the floor between them. Then he stepped back. That small act, it changed something in her. Ziri crawled forward, picked it up with shaking hands, and took a small bite. Tears filled her eyes. She hadn't tasted real food in weeks. Cole smiled. You got a name? He asked. Ziri blinked. Name? She had one, once. But no one had spoken it in years. Ziri, she whispered. Cole leaned closer. Ziri, that's a nice name. Her heart skipped. Nobody had ever said her name like that. Not with kindness. Not with warmth. I looked down, not knowing what to say. He stood up and turned to leave, but then he stopped. Hey, he said, you don't belong out here. She tilted her head. He reached into his pack, took out a clean military hoodie, and tossed it to her. Stay warm. Okay. Then he walked away. Ziri held the hoodie in her hands, like it was made of gold. For the first time in years, she felt something strange. Hope. Later that night, she found a quiet corner behind the cargo crates and wrapped herself in the hoodie. It smelled like him, like fire and earth and something. Safe. She didn't sleep. She just held the fabric close and listened to the voices outside. Who was that girl you gave your hoodie to? Someone asked Cole. Just a kid, Cole replied. She's not even human. I know, he said, but you looked at her like she was something special. There was a long pause. Then Cole answered, maybe she is. Ziri's eyes went wide. No one had ever said she was special. Not once. She pulled the hoodie tighter around herself, her small body trembling. Something was changing, and she didn't know why. But she was scared and excited. And warm. All at the same time. Ziri sat quietly under the loading bay's shadows. The human's hoodie still wrapped around her like a second skin. It was too big for her. The sleeves fell past her hands. But she didn't care. It was warm. It was his. And for the first time in her life, something smelled like home. She stayed there all night, afraid to sleep in case someone took it from her. But morning came, and with it him, footsteps, heavy, confident, familiar. She peeked out. It was Cole, the human. The only one who saw her. He noticed her right away. "You're still here," he said. Almost surprised, she nodded once. Cole stepped closer and crouched again, just like before. "You hungry?" Ziri didn't speak. She only looked at him. Her silver eyes shimmered in the morning light. He placed another food bar down, same as yesterday. Then, without waiting, he sat beside her on the cold ground. No one had ever sat with her. Not like this. Like she mattered. He didn't talk for a while. Just watched the sky through the metal ceiling, letting silence settle like soft dust. Finally, he spoke. "You remind me of someone," he said. Ziri blinked. "My little sister. Back home." She tilted her head. "Sick when she was young," he continued. "Doctors said she wouldn't make it." Ziri's fingers tightened on the blanket. "But she did," he smiled. "She was stronger than anyone thought." Ziri didn't understand all the words, but she understood the feeling behind them. Then Cole turned to her. "You remind me of her because you're still here, even after everything." Ziri looked down. "I don't feel strong." Cole didn't laugh. He didn't look away. He leaned a little closer and said something that froze her heart. "You don't know it, but you are." Ziri's lips parted slightly. No one had ever said that to her. She had been called weak, worthless, silent, empty, but not strong. Never strong. Cole stood up, brushing dust from his pants. "You need a place to sleep." "Not behind crates." She panicked. I can't. They'll take me away." "Who will?" "My kind," she whispered. Cole stared at her for a long second. "Do you want to stay with me?" he asked. She blinked. "With you?" "I'm not allowed to adopt or anything," he said. "But I have a tent. Extra blanket, rations. Nobody'll ask questions if you're just my helper." Ziri hesitated. "Why?" she whispered. "Why?" "Are you helping me?" Cole smiled. "Just a little, because someone should have helped you a long time ago." He extended his hand. Ziri stared at it like it was a glowing weapon. Then slowly she reached out her own trembling fingers and touched his. It was the first time in her life she had willingly reached for another being. He didn't squeeze. He didn't pull. He just held her hand. Like it was normal. Like it was okay. Like she was okay. As they walked to his tent, Ziri looked at the patch on his sleeve. "Cole," she read softly. He looked at her. "Yeah, that's me." "What is it?" "My name." Ziri paused. "I like it," he grinned. "Thanks." She looked down at herself, then back up at him. "My name is Ziri, but no one ever says it." He stopped walking. "Well, that's gonna change." She looked up. "You're Ziri," he said clearly. "You're not nobody. You're not a ghost. You're Ziri." Her chest felt tight. Warm. Different. "I'm Ziri," she whispered to herself. "I'm Ziri," and somehow, when he said it, it felt real. Ziri sat quietly inside the human's tent, arms tucked around her knees, watching the light flicker on the canvas walls. It had been 3 days since Cole brought her here. 3 days of food, warmth, and no fear. And yet, she still waited for something to go wrong. She always did. But Cole wasn't like the others. He talked to her like she mattered. He asked questions. He listened. And when she didn't know the answers, he didn't get angry. Instead, he taught her how to speak clearer, how to hold a spoon, how to say thank you and you're safe now, in his human language. She even started laughing once. It surprised her so much. She covered her mouth and stopped. Cole had just smiled. "You should laugh more," he said. Ziri didn't know how to explain it, but something was changing inside her. Something soft, something alive. But not everyone was happy about that. Too. Soldiers arrived at the edge of camp that morning. They weren't human. They were tall, sharp, same lavender skin as Ziri, but darker and thicker. Their eyes were cold, their faces full of judgment. They came for her. Cole stepped in front of his tent, arms crossed. "Can I help you?" he asked. You are housing a Class 6 female, one of them said. His voice was flat. That is forbidden. She's not a threat, Cole replied calmly. She's a child. She is not a child, the taller one snapped. She is a failed female. Our species cast her out for a reason. Ziri peeked through the tent flap, her heart pounding. They knew she was here. Her people found her. The soldier continued. She is emotionally unstable. Her body is undeveloped. She was meant to live in shadows, alone. Cole's eyes narrowed. She's not unstable. She's just scared. She's dangerous, human, the alien hissed. And if she begins to believe she is truly female, you won't understand what you've awakened. Cole didn't move. She already is female. The soldiers exchanged a glance. One of them pulled out a scanner and tossed it toward Cole's feet. Run it. You'll see the mutation yourself. Her hormones never activated. She's not fit to bond. Not even with her own kind. Cole's voice dropped low. That's your problem, not mine. The aliens didn't like that. We'll return in 3 days, they warned. If she's still here, we'll take her by force. And if you try to stop us, we will report you to the Galactic Board. And with that, they left. Inside the tent, Ziri was curled in the corner, hugging her knees tighter. She had heard everything. Every word. Cole walked in slowly, kneeling beside her. They won't hurt you, he said softly. You should have. Let them take me, she whispered. Not a chance. Her voice trembled. They're right. I'm wrong inside. Not finished. I don't know how to be female. You are female, Cole said firmly. She looked up at him, silver eyes wide and scared. How do you know? He didn't answer with words. Instead, he pointed to the old mirror on the wall of the tent. Go look. Ziri hesitated. Then slowly, she stood up and walked to it. What she saw made her heart stop. It wasn't the torn hoodie or the messy hair. It was the soft glow in her cheeks. The gentle curve of her lips, the feeling in her own eyes. She didn't look like the ghosts in her memories anymore. She looked warm. Alive. Even a little pretty. Do you see her now? Cole said from behind her. Ziri touched the mirror gently. She nodded once. Yes. Ziri stood in the mirror's reflection, barely breathing. Her fingers touched her own cheek as if it didn't belong to her, the soft flush under her skin, the light in her eyes, the shape of her mouth. It all felt new. Strange. Beautiful. Behind her, Cole stayed quiet. He knew she needed this moment. But outside the tent, the world was already shifting. The next day, Cole wasn't there. He had gone to a nearby outpost to get medical supplies. Ziri waited. She cleaned the small space, folded the blanket, even tried brushing her hair with a spoon. She smiled at the mirror, just a little, but the smile faded fast because she felt them before they even stepped inside the camp. She felt them. Her kind. Tall, silent, cruel. 2 elite guards entered the tent without asking. Ziri dropped the spoon. Her legs wouldn't move. The taller guard stepped forward. Ziri of the Void Litters, come. She shook her head. No. The second one narrowed his eyes. You dare speak like a real female? Ziri stood straighter. I am female. The slap came fast. Sharp. Her small body hit the tent pole. The taller one grabbed her arm. You've been infected, he growled. The human poisoned your mind, Ziri struggled. He saved me. They didn't listen. They never had. Cole returned moments later. The tent flap was torn. His bag dropped to the ground. He heard a scream, Ziri's voice. He ran, through the smoke, through the shouting. He followed the sound until he saw her being dragged by her arms, eyes wide, face bleeding, hoodie torn. Let her go. Cole shouted, gun raised. The aliens turned slowly. She belongs to us, the taller one said calmly. And she is broken. Cole didn't hesitate. I don't care. The Guards pulled Ziri closer. If you shoot, she dies. Ziri met Cole's eyes. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging. She was breathing hard. Fast, but something had changed in her gaze. Not fear. Fire. And then she moved. Fast. Her small elbow smashed into the thinner alien's face. He stumbled. Grip loosened. Ziri twisted, slammed her knee into the taller one's leg, and broke free. She ran straight to Cole. He caught her. Gun still pointed. The aliens looked stunned. You taught her violence. One of them hissed. No, Cole said. You did. The guards didn't stay. Not this time. They left, bleeding pride and warnings behind them. Later, Cole cleaned the cut on her face. Ziri winced but didn't cry. You're stronger than I thought, he whispered. Ziri shook her head. Was always strong, she said softly. I just didn't know it. Cole smiled. You do now? Ziri looked at him. Her fingers gently touched the edge of his hand. Yes. And then, without warning, she leaned forward and rested her forehead against his chest. Not asking, just being. She closed her eyes. His heartbeat was steady. Warm. Safe. For now. The stars were quiet that night. Cold silver dots above the human camp, blinking over silent tents and distant WATCHTOWERS. Inside one small tent, something warm was growing. Ziri sat cross-legged across from Cole, her small hands wrapped around a cup of warm broth. She wasn't shivering anymore, not because the air was warmer, but because he was close. He didn't speak much tonight. Just watched her with those quiet, calm eyes. The kind that didn't judge, didn't stare, just saw. Ziri took a sip and then glanced at him. Do humans always sit like that? She asked, curious. Cole smiled. Like what? Legs like a spider. He chuckled. We call it crisscross. Crisscross, she repeated, testing the words. Sounds silly. Everything sounds silly when you say it the first time. Ziri smiled softly. Then silence returned. Not awkward silence. Gentle. Like the stars were listening. She looked down at her hands. Thin, pale fingers, nails chipped, but no longer shaking. I don't feel broken anymore, she said. Cole didn't speak. She looked up. You don't talk much now, she said. He took a deep breath. I don't want to say the wrong thing. She blinked. Why would you? Because lately, he said slowly, you look at me different. Ziri didn't deny it. I feel different. Her voice lowered. Every time I sit close, my skin feels hot. Cole's eyes met hers. Ziri leaned forward slightly. Do humans feel this too, around someone who makes their chest tight? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached over and took her empty cup. His hand brushed hers. It was the smallest touch, but it felt like a fire. Ziri stared at his hand. You touched me. You're not scared anymore, he said. I'm not, she whispered. She moved closer. So close now their knees touched. And then very slowly Ziri reached out and placed her hand on his chest. Flat, soft, curious, right where his heart beat. Lived. She closed her eyes. It's fast, she said. Yours is too. She nodded. Is that bad? No, Cole said. It means we're alive. Ziri looked up at him. Then why does it hurt a little? Because feelings are heavy, he replied. And you're carrying them for the first time. She didn't understand all the words, but her body understood. She moved even closer, until her forehead touched his shoulder. Her voice came out in a whisper. If I was human, would I be pretty? Cole looked down at her. You're not human, he said. Ziri pulled back slightly, but he added, You're Ziri. That's better. Her lips parted, not to speak, but to breathe in that sentence like it was air. That night, she didn't sleep in the corner of the tent. She curled up beside him. Close. Warm. Safe. He didn't touch her again. Not without her asking, but she rested her head against him. And for the first time, She wanted to stay. Not just survive. Stay. Zir I used to fear sleep, because sleep meant dreams. And dreams meant remembering the cold crates, the dirty floor, the voices telling her she was nothing. But not anymore. Now sleep came with warmth. With a steady heartbeat beside her, and a blanket that smelled like safety. Every morning she woke up curled against Cole's side, his arm barely touching hers, respectful, careful. But there. And every morning, her heart beat a little stronger. But happiness is loud. And the galaxy heard it. It began with the whispers. Aliens passing through the outpost glanced at her for too long. A drone hovered outside their tent one night and vanished before Cole could catch it. Then, 3 days later, an encrypted message crackled through Cole's comm unit. Ziri watched his face go still as he listened. "What is it?" she asked. He turned to her slowly. "They put a bounty on you." Ziri blinked. "Why?" "They said you crossed a genetic line," Cole said. "They said you bonded with a human. That makes you unclean." Ziri felt her throat tighten. "But we didn't even." "I know," Cole said. "They don't care." She sat down, eyes wide, chest hollow. "They're going to kill me," she whispered. "No," Cole said. "They'll have to kill me first." She looked up sharply. "No," she said. "I can't let you. I'm not letting them take you, Ziri. I won't." That night, they didn't sleep. Cole packed quickly. Weapons, rations, cloaking blanket. He gave Ziri his spare armor vest. It hung off her like oversized clothes, but it was better than nothing. Then he knelt in front of her. "This next part," he said, "it's going to be hard. We'll have to run. We'll have to hide. But I'll keep you safe." Ziri grabbed his hands. "No," she said. "We keep each other safe. Together." He stared at her. And in that moment, she didn't look small. She didn't look weak. She looked ready. The ambush came at nightfall. A ship landed hard in the dirt behind the ridge. Silent cloaks dropped. 5 figures surrounded their camp. Too late to run, but not too late to fight. Cole fired first. 2 shots, non-lethal, just enough to send the message, "Stay back." Ziri stood behind him, shaking, but holding the weapon he gave her. One of the attackers called out, "We don't want the human." Just the mistake standing beside him. "Ziri, step forward. I'm not a mistake," she shouted. "I'm not yours anymore." They didn't reply. They charged. The fight was fast, brutal. Cole took a hit to the shoulder. Ziri fired her first stun shot, missed, but didn't drop the weapon. One attacker grabbed her. Her scream shattered the air. And then she stabbed him, a hidden blade in her boot. Right under the armor. He collapsed. Ziri stumbled back, gasping. She had never hurt anyone before. Cole caught her hand. "You did what you had to," he said. She looked at him with wide, glowing eyes. "I wasn't scared," she whispered. "Not for me. For you," he smiled. "I wasn't scared either." Their hands stayed locked together. Not just in fear now, but in defiance. When the rest of the attackers fled, Cole and Ziri stood in the smoke of their ruined camp, wounded, breathing hard. Alive. Ziri leaned against him, exhausted. "Why do they hate me so much?" she asked. Cole looked down at her. "Because you loved someone they told you not to." Ziri's voice trembled. "And that's wrong?" "No," he said. "That's powerful." She rested her head on his chest. "I'm not broken anymore." "No." She looked up, silver eyes filled with something new. Not just fear, not just fire, but desire. "Cole." He met her gaze. "Yes?" Her voice was quiet. "What happens if I want to be yours?" They ran for 2 more days. Through dust storms, abandoned bunkers, and silent spaceports. Everywhere they went, Ziri saw the same things. Cameras, drones, warnings. She was no longer an orphan hiding in shadows. She was a target, and worse. She was a message. A message her people didn't want others to see. Because she had become the thing they said she could never be. A female, a fighter, and someone a human could love. Cole patched his wound as best as he could, but he was weak now. Slower, pale, Ziri made him stop near a dry canyon edge. She found a cracked medkit and pressed a cooling pack to his shoulder. "You need help," she whispered. He shook his head. "No, you need to get off-world." She looked at him, really looked. His skin was bruised. His voice was tired, but his eyes were still hers. "I'm not leaving you," she said. "You'll die if you stay. Then I die with you." He tried to argue, but she reached up, fingers trembling, and touched his jaw. "No more running." Cole's voice cracked. "Then what do we do?" Ziri took a deep breath. "Show them." "Show who?" "Everyone." That night, they hacked a public beacon tower. Cole rerouted the signal, and Ziri stood in front of the blinking transmitter, dirty, bruised, and holding his hand. "This is Ziri," she said. Her voice shook at first, but then it rose. "I was born broken. They said I wasn't real, not female, not whole." She glanced at Cole, but he looked at me like I was real. He didn't just feed me. He didn't just protect me. She turned back to the camera. He loved me. A long pause, and I loved him back. She squeezed Cole's hand. "You can hunt us, you can banish us, but you can't erase me anymore, because I exist. I feel, and I choose him." And then right in front of the whole galaxy's broadcast feed, she kissed him. Slow, sure, no fear, just fire. And love. The signal cut, but not fast enough. The feed went viral across 3 sectors in 6 hours. People started whispering, "Did you see the alien girl? She kissed a human. She was beautiful." Other broken girls from her species began stepping forward, speaking, writing, hiding less. Some humans stood up too, defending them, and some wanted blood. The galaxy was split now, because of a kiss. Later, in a quiet cave lit by emergency light, Cole lay back against the stone wall, Ziri resting beside him. "Do you regret it?" he asked. Ziri looked at him, eyes glowing softly. "No," she said, "because now they see me." Cole smiled. "And what do they see?" Ziri leaned in close. "A girl who chose her mate." She kissed him again. Slower this time. No camera. Just 2 hearts. Finally still.